Now what message do you bring?
HBO Max and Netflix.
You rode all the way from Persia for Netflix and HBO Max. Let us walk to cool our tongues.
If you value your lives over your complete annihilation, listen carefully, Jonathan. Amazon conquers and controls everything they rest their eyes upon. They have warehouses all over the world filled with so many employees. They can shake the earth if they all walk at once. So fast it drinks the competition dry. All the God King Amazon requires is this. A simple cancellation of HBO Max and Netflix. A token to the video store bad boy submission to the will of Amazon.
Submission? Now that's a bit of a problem.
We must be diplomatic, Jonathan.
And of course, we video store bad boys have our reputation to consider.
Choose your next words carefully, Jonathan. They may be your last as co-host of your precious podcast.
HBO Max and Netflix.
Madman! You're a madman!
HBO Max and Netflix. You'll find plenty of it in the basement of our video store, where you shall remain from this day forward with Samuel Jackson to keep you company, right, Samuel?
Fuck you!
No, man. Video store bad boy or not, the rants and messenger.
You bring news of an ultimate streaming service. You insult my David Coy. You threaten fellow movie collectors with a world without physical media. Oh, I have chosen my words carefully. Perhaps you should have done the same.
This is blasphemy. This is madness.
Madness? This is Video Store Bad Boys Podcast!
Flawless victory. Fatality.
Oh yeah, it's about that time when two men come together and get heated in a fun yet non-sexual way. So sit back, relax, adjust that tracking, don't be kind, fuck that rewind. It's time for the Video Store Bad Boys Podcast.
Yeah, boy!
Does Tom Cruise tighten his ass when he gets in the sprint mode?
I saw Species. I was traumatized when I saw the second one, and he choked this woman on his dick. He was like, yeah.
I got a lighter, I got no badge, what am I supposed to do here?
Who
the fuck are you? 1, 2, food's not coming for you.
3, 4, no food no more. 5, 6, you're gonna become a stick. 7, 8, you wish you ate.
9, 10, you'll never eat food again. So, titties.
Titties in action. Go together like peanut butter and jelly.
And now, your video store bad boys, David Coy and John Kent.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming back to the 8th episode of Video Store Bad Boys Podcast. Thank you very much. We are here with my lovely co-host, Mr. Jonathan Kent.
I am back. How are you?
I am good, and yourself.
Yes, we are back. It is episode 8, my friend.
Woo! Feels good. We had a little hiatus, but we're here. We're back.
We are back in the game. And before we go any further, I just want to say there will be an increase of content. I know there hasn't been much, but there will be some visual stuff as well. I will be attending a show very soon. If any of you are at Wayne, New Jersey, or in the area, it's the Super Mega Show at Wayne, New Jersey. It's a collectible and toy show. There's going to be some fun guests there. I'm going to be there filming. Going to see if we can talk to some people, get them on the podcast. There will be a video up and all that fun stuff. And David, are we on social media?
Yes, we are. We are both on Instagram and Twitter at Video Store Bad Boys Podcast. Both the same in each one. No hyphen, no nothing. Just straight to it. Video Store Bad Boys Podcast.
You hear that, folks? We say fuck hyphens.
Yes. Nothing against hyphens. If that's your type of thing, you have a hyphen in your name, you want to, that's all you can do that.
And also, if you like what you hear here, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, spread the word. And hey, do you live in the LA area? That is in Los Angeles, California, and need the best photographer you've ever fucking seen? Go to farfromcoy.com. David Coy, the only photographer you need.
Oh, yeah.
Boom. And with that, it's time to kick off episode 8 of the Video Store Bad Boys Podcast. David, how are we gonna kick it off?
Well, we're gonna start it off with, I don't know if you guys have seen lately on Netflix, we had The Army of the Dead, directed by Zack Snyder, starring Dave Bautista.
The great Dave Bautista and Zack Snyder coming off the Snyder Cut, which we've talked into exhaustion about. Anyone who's listening to this, I'm probably like, please don't talk about that again. Don't worry, we're not.
Yes, no more.
But
yes.
A lot of anticipation for this. This was the first thing he's released since the Snyder Cut, and a return to horror for Zack Snyder. Prior to this, he nailed that Dawn of the Dead remake. Thought he did that fantastic. So there was a lot of anticipation for this. And Skip, was this in theaters or no? It was just Netflix?
Just Netflix. They just dropped it on Netflix.
Okay, no theatrical release. I mean, right now we're in that weird zone where we're kind of open in theaters, but we're not. And this went straight to the old Netflix.
Yes, it did, which is not bad. I mean, like you said, the times we live in is normal now to just drop stuff on HBO Max. HBO Max pretty much has a deal, I think, for the rest of the year, dropping on streaming and in theaters. So, at least you get best of both worlds. They're still trying to, do this thing where they're trying to, the world is kind of getting back to its old self. People getting vaccinated if you like to, most places are opening up, LA saying they're going to open up in June 15th. Everything's opening up. They're pushing for you to get back in theaters, but I mean, I do like watching movies in the comfort of my homes. I also do like rewatching them over and over again. So technically, I am getting my money's worth.
I'm with you, man. I was a theater whore, but since this happened, not gonna lie, in my underwear, in bed, on the couch, eating some wings, just fucking chilling, not having to worry about going to the theater, not have to worry about all that money on the theater snacks, and I love me some theater snacks. No people around me, no creeps, no cell phones, no annoying people, no dude snoring, which I've had happen too many times. The man next to me, we both experienced it when we saw Captain Marvel, which sucked because that dude was snoring so loud, I was going to murder him. But that is not the case. The only snoring is me if I pass out, but if I do, I can wake up, rewatch it, and on top of that, also, if I gotta go to the bathroom, I can just fucking pause it.
It's watching these movies in the comfort of your home. Like, how can it get any better?
I don't know. See, and that's the worst part. Like, I've gotten spoiled, and especially with kids' movies, man. Oh my god, just sitting him in front of the TV, the kid, and just let him watch. He's quiet, no having to bring him. Like, he can have his snacks, whatever he wants. Dude, spoiled.
Like you said, you can put it on, do what you want, they're distracted by it. But yes, let's get into this Army of the Dead.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I would say I enjoyed it. I liked it. But
Okay.
I was expecting, because it changed a little bit, because we're so used to, how many different types of zombies we have out there? We got the slow Walking Dead kind. And then we have the fast runners like you've seen in 28 Days Later.
Right, the Fast and the Furious zombies, I guess you would call them.
Yes, the Fast and Furious, or the World War Z, the Swarm.
Yeah, oh yeah, good old Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would say, I guess, the smart zombies, I guess, is the last one. We usually see the first two, the Fast and Furious zombies, the slow walking zombies. And, every once in a while sprinkles in, like, the one couple of zombies that are smarter, they evolve, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's weird though when they do that because technically they're dead, so there's no brain activity. So how the fuck are they smart?
This movie has me questioning that every scene, and
Yes.
it's actually something that happens in there that I even question even more. Before we even get to that,
I tried watching this movie. I was very
Yes.
excited for this movie. I'm a huge horror hound. I love Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. I'm a big fan of him, and I was so excited for him to get back into horror. And the movie started with that cool shit going on, and after that,
oh my god, yes.
first of all, I see 2 hours and 28 minutes. Okay, a zombie movie? 2 hours and 28 minutes? I'm like, what the fuck? This is a long haul. Like, it's just a zombie movie. Why is all this time needed? Honestly, bro, I made it a half hour, completely fell asleep. The movie kept playing. I didn't stop it, so when I woke up the next day, it was over, and I didn't feel like going back to it. So I got like 30 minutes in, no desire to rewatch it. I was kind of bored. It was not what I thought it was going to be.
I would give you that. It was not what I thought it would be, especially because the first 15 minutes is kind of just like, were the best part,
dude,
of the movie.
Yeah, very long sequence. It almost felt like, why don't you put this in the actual movie instead of showing me this all now?
Exactly, and it even makes it worse. Was I forgot who is it? A Netflix, IGN, one of those outlets released those first 15 minutes like a day or two before.
Oh no!
So I saw
really?
it. Yes, I saw the first 15 minutes. I was like, oh, but I mean, honestly, if you saw those first 15 minutes, those 15 minutes were amazing. It's like, oh, I cannot wait for this movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought the whole movie was gonna be. Was just fucking madness, especially the premise of them being trapped in Vegas and it being sectioned off. Which, side note, I was like, well, you solved your problem. This really isn't like a bad zombie. Of all the zombie movies I've seen, this is pretty much a really nice scenario because you contained it, which no other zombie thing has ever done. Just nuke those motherfuckers and you're done. That's it. End of story, right?
That is it. That was really that was, as you said, as you keep watching it, they're like doing everything you would think someone would do, you know what I mean, for a zombie apocalypse. Wall off the city. They're dropping bombs, you know what I mean?
Got a better wall.
Yes, Trump would be happy. We built a wall. Something we accomplished.
David, I just gotta say, I saw this documentary, Army of the Dead. I thought it was fantastic. During my presidency, this is what I was talking about, and no one wanted to listen. And look what happened to Vegas. This is all true stuff, right? This happened in real time.
It happened in real time, yes.
Okay, I'm leaving. I love the Video Store Bad Boys. They will make America great again. Like and subscribe. Wow, thank you, Donald. That was very nice of him.
Yes, that was thank you for that. But yes, I was like, they already doing, things that you never seen in zombie movies. You're walling up, you're dropping bombs. It kind of makes me wonder, because like when they're like recruiting when a guy's recruiting the people, I'm also perplexed. How is the world affected outside of this? Is it still normal? Is it like post-apocalyptic? Is it somewhere in between? Because every time we kept looking at everybody else, it was like some people looked like they were struggling, and other people looked like they were just Omari Hardwick's character. He's like, I guess, a massage therapist at an old home. Like, they're just like, nothing's happening. We're like, oh, we're still going to the pool. We're still going to get our swim on.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, that's the part I made it up to that, and it was like, oh wait, so people have jobs, like everything's fine? Like,
again, that's another thing they're doing different than all other zombies. It's like you still have zombies, but like you said, they contained it. So I guess the rest of the world can be, do as they will, like nothing ever happened. Oh, we got zombies, but only in the Las Vegas area. So us over here in New Jersey are good. Like, I guess that's like the vibe.
Question for you though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Didn't it kind of feel like they kind of contained it pretty easily? Was that just me, or?
Oh yeah, pretty easily. They was on it. The moment he said the containment or whatever that thing was loose, they was probably like, all right, they're by Vegas. This shit's gonna get real. Let's act. That is the fastest I have ever seen. That's another thing I liked about this. He did like a Wes Craven. He put the entire genre on his head for those first 15-20 minutes, and then it's just like,
I gotta say though, like, I know it was a sad part. Spoilers, by the way. We're gonna talk about this in detail. If you haven't seen it, spoilers. But when I know it's supposed to be sad, and I'm a cynical piece of shit, but I laughed when the container got dropped on the woman and the kid. Like, I know it was a very tragic moment. Please no, it wasn't lost on me, but it just felt very Looney Tunes in a way. I was like, why? Why is this like?
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that, because they definitely just dropped it right on her. Because I was like kind of invested, because he's still telling a story as they're going through all this, the whole 15 minutes. I was like, oh great, this is cool. And then you realize she ain't make it, and her daughter ain't make it either. I was like, oh, come on.
Also, I noticed what was really fun was seeing some familiar faces, such as Jimmy Olsen from Batman v Superman was in the beginning of the movie, another Zack Snyder film. And how great is it?
Yes, that I knew he looked familiar. I knew he looked familiar. I couldn't put I just looked up and it said he was in Batman v Superman. I was like, well, what the fuck part was he in?
Jimmy. And once again, he's
exactly
he dies in the desert for the second time
in the beginning of the movie.
Yup. We don't like you.
Zack Snyder just picks him up. Hey, you want to die in my movie? Get on in here.
Come on, can we stick around, please? Like, but that whole thing. What did you think of that whole? I don't know why. I don't know why, but it felt like that whole beginning where the dude's getting head from his wife and the guy's having the BS conversation where they're not looking at the road. I just feel like it was kind of a forced, like really exaggerated forced thing.
Yeah, definitely. But the best part, like, is not even the best part. Like, okay, the moment she starts us with the pants. I was like, all right, we know where this is going. They're gonna crash in. He's gonna break free. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But the fact that at least the first car saw them coming and swerved out the way.
That was fucked up.
Because the other car that was carrying it didn't see it.
Yeah, and I mean, you got open desert. You're gonna see a pair of. I've driven in the desert. Trust me. When any pair of headlights you see it pretty far off, and you're so happy to see it. Believe me, you're not. Your eyes aren't turning. You're seeing the headlights. So
exactly.
That was a little. Yeah, but I gotta say though, one huge positive before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Bautista as an actor, I think out of every wrestler turned actor, and I'm even including Dwayne Johnson in this.
Mm-hmm.
Acting wise, he's becoming. I think he's one of the better actors. I think he's so solid. Like he really sold the sadness and the sincerity in a very.
Oh yeah, he's definitely top
Yeah,
notch.
I felt like he was in another movie, to where it's almost like this movie felt a little. Not. I don't know if cheesy's the word, but a little like a little off, and I felt like he was, like almost like I don't want to say B movie, but. Just didn't feel like it was as first class as I was hoping, but his performance though, he's in a first class thing.
Oh yeah, and you just think about the moments he was like emotional and crying, I was like, yo, I really feel this.
God.
I really feel this.
And that's something that could have gone very wrong, and he nailed it.
Mm-hmm. He can be the next. Well, he's like a huge actor already, but like. The status of hopefully like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but because Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't really do too many like serious roles, did he? Not that I can think of like dramatic roles.
Not really. I mean, when later on, like recently, he did Maggie. He did the other
Maggie,
one, the plane crash one. I always forget where his daughter crashed, and that dude in the wheelchair from Batman v Superman is responsible. He's good in that. I mean, like he has it, but I don't think he has. I think he has. I agree with you because. Let's face it, like, John Cena's got kind of a goofiness to him.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Johnson has kind of a goofiness to him, too. But Batista has this, like, seriousness. Like, he's funny as hell as Drax.
Oh, yeah, he's funny.
He can sort of play that intense... I see what you're saying. Like, he could go more dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be okay. That's why, side note, the fact that he wants to play Bane, Warner Brothers... You guys are so stupid. Can you please do one thing right and just make him Bane, please?
Please. And you know what's funny? I was like his agent, and it's funny. I'm rewatching Entourage again.
Oh boy.
I know it didn't age. Yeah, it's so funny, but it didn't age too well. But it's funny. But just the whole Ari, like I was like, I need someone. I need Dave Bautista's agent to be like Ari and already have a clip of him playing the Bond villain and send that over. Just like, hey. If you need any proof about how badass he is as a character with just presence, send him that movie. Just send him that movie.
Oh my god. By the way, he said in an interview, how much screen time do you think he had in was he in Skyfall or Spectre? Spectre, right?
Spectre.
Yeah. How much screen time do you think? He didn't have that much, right?
No, he didn't. I'm gonna say let's just say 5 minutes of screen time.
You ready for now? He said it was such a pain in the ass shooting that movie because there's so many locations and it's just little by little. He was on that movie for 8 months.
Wait, he was there for 8 months?
Yes.
He was barely in the movie.
I know. That's what makes me wonder. Like, I hope they shot more shit with you because there's hardly enough screen time there to make me wonder why. And he doesn't even have dialogue, so. What the hell took 8 months?
Yeah, I mean, why would you be on call for 8 months for a movie that you're in less than 10 minutes? Unless he has to go to these places. But I mean, like, I don't know, I'll go back home. Or maybe it was just too much to go back home. To come back out to these places, it's better if they had them there. I mean, if you're putting me up, if you're going to, give me room and board, a nice place, shit, okay, I guess I can stay for 8 months.
It's crazy, right? But anyway... But getting back to this though, he is, to me, he was the only thing that was keeping me interested was him. But you watched the whole thing, so like I said, I made it 35 minutes. Go ahead. So you're taking over. So how did it end up going? What went down? Tell the folks. Spoilers.
Spoilers alert. So how I can say it is after those 15 minutes, obviously, Hiroyuki Sanada playing Bly Tanaka is pretty much... I think I said it right. But yeah, he's pretty much some rich tycoon, whatever. He comes...
Scorpion.
Exactly. If you did not know Mortal Kombat, he plays Scorpion.
Yeah.
But yes, he is... he comes to Dave Bautista, proposition, hey, there's $200 million in this vault. If you can get it for me, you can get 50 cut. You can get 50 mil for you and your team. Whatever.
Right.
So obviously the first 15 minutes we're pretty much introduced to these characters. So pretty much he goes around collecting his team. They need a safe cracker, the guys he worked out with the what is it? The operation with to get the people out in the beginning of the movie. So he gets his team together. They all blah blah blah. Right. They go in. I will say, Bly Tanaka has his second in command, Martin, played by Garrett Dillahunt. He's been you'll see his face. You'll see that he's been in a lot of movies. His face is very recognizable. But yes, he is his right hand man. He said he has to come on the mission to supervise. Obviously, if you watch enough movies, you realize, okay, something's amiss here. Why is now his second in command coming on a mission to supervise them? I guess to make sure. I mean, obviously in my head, you would think, okay, to make sure they don't run off with the money. But then again, it's like he's one man in a team of 8. So I mean, if anything, they wanted to, they could overpower him, kill him, take the $200 million and dip. But also, this guy Bly is a billionaire, so I'm pretty sure he can find them if he wanted to and take his money back, take that money. Either way, my first thought is, okay, he wants them on here. Obviously, something's going to go wrong. He's going to probably betray them. He's there for ulterior motive. Case in point, fast forward to the more of the movie, he does betray them. But we'll get to that. So it's like this whole back... I mean, I'm going to try and go as fast as I can to press for time, but pretty much Dave Bautista has... I guess he has an off relationship with his daughter because she works in a refugee camp outside of, people who are displaced through the whole zombie invasion, whatever. He reconnects with her because he needs her to find the way to get in without nobody knowing. They find someone to help them get them in.
But side note, they have a little tension between them because of a very... very traumatic, fucked up moment that she witnessed.
Oh, yes. Okay, we're going to rewind. The reason that Dave Bautista's character, Scott Ward, and his daughter, Kate Ward, Scott and Kate, are haven't talked in a while because Scott's wife, Kate's mother, turned to a zombie, and Dave Bautista killed her in front of her.
Great acting, by the way, in that scene by him.
Oh, amazing.
Great.
Yes, amazing. Like, I felt the pain. It's like, he just had to kill his wife in front of his daughter.
Yep.
I felt that pain when he yelled and cried.
Yep. He had to stab her in the fucking brain, bro. That was nuts.
So yeah, they pretty much sneak in. Now, what we learn now is through, they call it, I guess, the coyote. What we learn some more about these zombies. So apparently they call them alphas, which are the more intelligent zombies, the ones that run this shit. If you see the first 15 minutes, the main zombie who escaped that was in the military containment is, I guess, technically the king zombie. This is his empire, his land. So what he says...
He's the Dominic Toretto of zombies?
Yes, he's the Dominic Toretto without the muscle car.
Also, speaking of which, did you find it weird that when Dave Bautista got this team together of experts and even a safecracker that none of them were street racers before?
God damn it, John. You know what? This is Fast and Furious without the cars.
I'm telling you, that's what I was thinking. I was looking at the stereotypes of the team being put together, and I was like, oh, wait, you guys actually do this full time. You're not street racers who took like secret online courses and learned all these skills you didn't have before. Okay, this makes sense.
Yes, exactly. But it's okay. I would say, yeah, so we find out there's, different types of zombies. We have the alpha zombies, as they call them, the smart ones, run by... They don't say his name in the movie, but they call him Zeus. So, and you have the regular, mundane zombies, the regular ones that we're all used to. So,
right.
In order for them to... It's crazy, like, again, he flips it on his head. It's for them to maneuver throughout Las Vegas, they have to make a sacrifice. which they end up
Right.
bringing in. I don't know if you remember Theo Rossi. He played in Sons of Anarchy. He's pretty much an ass. He's your stereotypical asshole guard who sexually harasses women, uses his power, and pull and blah blah blah. Thinks he's a real big man on campus. She brings him along because she feeds into his ego, blah blah blah. They end up using him as a sacrifice. So what happens is these alpha, I guess he's technically the queen, Zeus's queen. They take him as a sacrifice. So pretty much means like, hey, you can do what you guys want, just stay out of our way, pretty much. So they pretty much go on their mission, find the vault. Of course, Martin, Bly Takanaka, the billionaire's right hand man. We see his treachery. He pretty much, because what happens? I wish you stayed awake for this one, but this was actually the highlight.
I'll watch it.
Yes,
I'll watch
this
it.
was the highlight, the next highlight after the beginning. So they're walking through this like storefront of these sleeping zombies. And I mean, like, they're like squeezing past them not to wake them up. Like, these are zombies standing up sleep. So he pretty much starts. So since it's Martin, the right hand man, and this woman named Chambers after him, leading up the pack, he pretty much, because she's already onto him, like, yo, I don't trust you. Something about you ain't right. Which is pretty much the rest of us. If we all watching up movies, we don't trust him anyway. But he pretty much, because how they're getting through, because it's dark, they have these little, how the little glow sticks, you crack them, throw them on the ground to lead a path through. He takes one, throws to the other, and then goes the opposite way. So now she's stuck, surrounded by zombies, and then they start waking up. I forgot if she did something or the guy did something. When I tell you I was scared for her, imagine how can I say this? Okay, imagine you go to the mall, right?
Okay.
You're in Macy's, so you know how you're walking through the coat hangers and all the products and stuff. Imagine those are zombies.
Oh God, that's awesome! I got to see that now.
So
Damn it.
imagine,
All right, now you
yes,
made me wanna watch it.
So I'm just gonna give you a quick synopsis of this part, because this was my favorite watching it. So like I said, imagine you're in your regular mall, but instead of all the items, those are replaced now with zombies. So imagine you're in Macy's. Now you're in Macy's, deep in Macy's. Your team is at the exit of Macy's. They start waking up. You have to fight your way through the back of Macy's to the front.
Oh shit.
Let me tell you something, John. Zack Snyder knows how to do a fucking fight scene. If we know anything from Batman v Superman, that Batman warehouse scene, when I tell you she was anybody else, me, you, maybe even Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead, she is blasting her way through these zombies. When I mean they are like, this is what I envision when I see people, or my head, when you're running away from these slow zombies. Because when I tell you, all you had to do is kind of like a little nudge and push. That was kind of what she was doing, but she was like, because she was a fighter, she was doing little moves, pop a couple in the head, make a path, push past a couple, shoot some in the head, keep it moving. Like, when I tell you this scene, she was going off, taking every zombie. Anybody else would have faltered, got killed. So, everyone hearing this commotion, they're like, what's going on? We gotta go back for her. The dude's like, nah, she's long gone. Martin, obviously, he's the one who put her in that position.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, she busts through this glass and is still fighting her way. Like, John, when I tell you, she is surrounded. Like, honestly, what makes this part worse is she could have survived, John. Because, like I said, imagine she made it to the exit, but there's still zombies around her. She's like on the ground. And the guy could have went, like, everyone is still like 20 feet away. Like, it's 7 of y'all. She's right there. If y'all really wanted to, y'all could have mowed down those zombies real quick and saved her.
Yeah.
John, they did not do that.
Didn't. That's fucked up.
It's literally like, you know how when you walk ahead of somebody and it's like, hey, are you coming? Oh, yeah. You wait for them to come. Like, that kind of distance. Like, that's all it was. It's like, oh, come on. Are you coming or not? Like, John, they really were like 20 feet away. They could have saved this girl. But that scene.
Is it worth it?
Yes, Jonathan. The way she, and I looked her up because she. Yes.
I'm sorry for bailing. I should have hung in there. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But her name is Samantha Wynn, and I was looking her up. She was actually in a bunch of other Snyder movies. Really? Oh yeah, she was in Man of Steel. She was one of the Kryptonians in the ship with with Zod.
Feora?
Not her. She was one of the other ones. Like I guess when Amy Smart,
wait,
Adams,
wait, yes, yeah, I know now. Okay, I
and
got
she was
you.
also in Wonder Woman as one of the Amazonians. I think so. Yes, she was
Really?
definitely in Batman. She was definitely
I can see
in.
that.
Is it Batman v No, Justice League. So she was in both cuts of Justice League. She was actually had a prominent part in Justice League. Remember the girl when they was running away from Steppenwolf, right? And remember the woman who got crushed under the horse
Yes.
at the very end when he got the box? That was her.
Oh,
So she's like-
yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
got
so she's
you.
like she's
Yeah,
also
oh,
a
yeah,
stunt
now I know
performer.
who she
I
is.
feel
Yep,
like
yep,
I
okay.
seen her on the Corridor Crew, but I'm not exactly sure if that was her. But she is a stunt, like she's like one of a stunt, I guess a stunt person as well as an actress.
So all in all, at 1 to 10, what do you give it?
Out of 1 to 10 I would give it a 7.
Solid.
Enjoyable.
Now,
Yeah, solid
Do
7.
you think it should have maybe been edited to a shorter runtime?
I would say a little bit, because I feel like every 2 hours and 30 minutes was filled with something. So it wasn't like no dead time. It wasn't not really.
Oh, well, I kind of feel when he was getting the team together, that was dragged on a little bit. That was
Yeah,
fine.
you can speed that up. But it's it's also crazy. Remember the actor who was? You ever watch the show You? You remember the actor who's also a comedian who got canceled or lost his job because he was actually
Crystalia. Yes, I was actually going to bring that up. Crystalia was in this movie.
Yes.
And because he got canceled, there was a girl that came out who was like, I think 18 or maybe even younger, saying that he was like DMing her. And they cut him from the movie and put in comedian Tig Notaro,
Yes.
the woman. And they did it so seamlessly that apparently Dave Bautista never even met her in person, but you can't tell because they really did a good job at like just putting her in
Yes,
there.
child. When I read that too, she did all her scenes by herself.
Can't tell. It's very... I was looking for that
You
because I knew, and even when they recruited her, I was like, "This is actually very Zack Snyder, man. He knows what he's doing."
He's great with VFX. There's times where you can kind of tell when she's like with the group, something's maybe slightly off if you catch it. But like all her other scenes, like by herself, she's acting against. Like I was watching that same scene when they was recruiting her. It looks seamless. Like you would never think. I mean, obviously it's easy when you do cuts like that. You just pretend that you're talking to them. But like the scenes that they put her in with everybody else, the helicopter, all that stuff, John, this is what every time we talk about it, this is what CGI can do, special effects. So if you do it right, if you know what you're doing, you have a director that understands it.
When it's an
we have a
enhancement,
director
it's
that
great.
understands how to fully use visual effects.
Right. And that's where Zack Snyder shines. He knows the right way to use it. He also knows the value of practicality and tangibility and real locations and weaving in the CGI when you have to, but when you do it, like making sure it looks good. Like I said, visually, I think he's one of the greatest directors to ever live. I think he puts an image unlike any other on the screen.
Oh yeah, and you can tell when it's a Zack Snyder movie. It just has that look, that quality, that grungy feel.
And that's what's crazy. He has his own style now, which is not easy to do.
I will say one style that did kind of annoy me is it reminds me of the whole Joker extended scene in Justice League, where it's like all these super close-ups and like out of focus, just like past.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. I think that's because of COVID that they did that.
Okay, I guess that makes sense because there was a lot of that in Army of the Dead. There was some moments I'm just like, why are we so close up on his face?
I agree with you there. I noticed that too. There were some in this particular film. That was something that was bothering me too. Some of the shot choices didn't feel like they were the best. It didn't feel like a Zack Snyder. Because that's what it is. I'm getting so used to his style now. I'm getting used to his eye that I kind of when you see that it's not like it's a little off, you're like, hey, like you, like, and that's why that scene in Justice League, that reshoot, obviously it was shot during COVID. So when the Batman and Joker, that's why they did those close-ups to kind of eliminate them being in the frame together to keep social distance, so you don't have to worry because they can't do the scene with the masks on. So
I get it, but I mean, after it was just nauseating some points because like now I'm more aware of it. Like if I probably didn't see Batman I mean, I keep saying Batman v Superman, Justice League, the Snyder Cut. I didn't see that extended scene. I probably would not have thought too much about it, but it was just like just up in your face, like yeah.
Right.
I was like
because the rest of the movie it's not happening, so
Exactly.
it's very awkward the way it's done.
Yeah, and it's usually on those like one-on-one people. It's like on the one-on-ones, like interacting with one person or two. It's like up in your face, like nah.
Okay. Now, do you feel that it does its job as a horror movie?
I feel like it straddles the line because I wasn't really scared. The only time I was really like shit out when that, like I said, that woman played by Samantha was stuck with all those zombies around. That I was scared for because I was like, yo, how is she going to survive?
My apologies to the audience. My apologies to you. Like I said, I tried watching it. I passed out, and then I just didn't. Once I saw it was done. But you know it's disgusting? Why I should be ashamed of myself, and I really shouldn't even be talking to you right now. It's so disgraceful.
Why?
Is that I didn't rewatch that, but yet David, week after week, I haven't shared this with you. There is a guilty pleasure show that I've been watching episode by episode. It's fucking terrible. Like specifically for one actor in particular, it doesn't go down smooth. I don't know why I keep coming back. I don't, but it's like I show up begrudgingly, and that is the Mighty Ducks Game Changer on Disney Plus.
Really?
Yeah, it's such a. I know. Just kick me off this podcast, but the reason I keep coming back,
Never.
David, is there is something that brings me back, and it's Emilio Estevez. I gotta just take a quick second and talk about. He hasn't really acted in a long time, you know. He kind of disappeared from the spotlight. So, the Mighty Ducks, the very famous franchise from the 90s, the hockey Disney movie where he plays Gordon Bombay, the coach, and very popular. So he comes back as the coach. It stars Lauren Graham, which I don't know what the hell she's doing on the show. I really don't. From Gilmore Girls and all.
Yeah.
She is doing all the heavy lifting. The main kid is played by he's from The Good Boys, one of the funniest fucking movies out there.
Ever.
Yeah, he's in there as her son, but David, there's just something I gotta point out. I'm fixated on it. I'm hooked, like I'm addicted. It's my crack. See, okay. They clearly made this as a response to Cobra Kai, which is, and which came from Creed, which is bringing something old with something new and mixing it together for nostalgia, but putting it in the right direction where it actually works, like Creed and Cobra Kai.
Yes.
There's a lot of love and time put into Cobra Kai. Here, and the actors in there actually want to perform and actually want to do good. Emilio, I don't know what the hell happened to him. I don't, but he might as well be reading off a cue card. He's very much like Nick Nolting it, where he's just like, God damn it. Like he's just there.
I'm just gonna be I'm just here.
And every line he says, everything he says is the same way. And there's another weird thing they've done with him, which up until the last episode was every episode. And it was why I kept watching, because I just got so hooked. They have these weird scenes of him eating. Like every episode, he's eating. Like the first episode, he's walking around. David,
Is he trying to pull a Brad Pitt?
Could be, but it's what he's eating too. Okay, this is really bizarre. I have to get this out. I have to get this off my chest. I'm sorry, buddy. I have to.
Go ahead.
He's walking. He owns a hockey rink. Okay. And he's totally washed up. He doesn't like hockey anymore. He doesn't want to do anything. He just takes care of it. And there is apparently, there was a kid's party. So he's walking around in his left hand holding a birthday cake. Not a slice. Like an entire birthday cake that was kind of already eaten. And he's just walking around eating it as he's talking. And then every episode has these weird moments where he's eating to the point where it's like, when did Gordon Bombay become this compulsive eater? It's just so distracting and weird. And every episode, it works its way in. And there's so many, it's so cheesy. And his acting, like I said, there's times where, example, the kid finally recognizes him and says, hey, you're Gordon Bombay. You were the original coach of the Ducks. And he's like, yeah, I was. One time. Like, it wasn't like, yeah, I was. You know, that was a long time ago. I don't want to say. No, he's essentially just saying it as if he's, you know, ordering food from a menu. And I love it so much that he's just so checked out. And there are scenes where other actors are actually acting with him. And he's just doing the same kind of... He looks very nervous, very uncomfortable, and no emotion in his dialogue. None.
I feel like they probably just hired him. It was like, hey, we need you. We'd like you to come back. And he was like, I guess. And then he just was like, just pay me. And he just like just went with it. He's like, I'm not really, you know. I feel like he just did it probably for the check, which I'm not mad about that.
Yeah, and yeah, it really did it for the check. And it became even more obvious when, you know, the whole thing watching it, spoilers, is, are the original cast members going to make a cameo? They do in one particular episode, and they reunite with him. And even them, they're like, you know, you figure they have this history, they shot this movie together, it's going to show on screen, and they're talking to him. And even these now adult actors who start as kids, they're talking like human beings. They're actually speaking with emotion. You cut to him answering questions, and he's still like doing the same kind of nodding his head, kind of just answering very matter-of-factly. It just doesn't give a shit, doesn't even want to like really put some oomph into it. And the reason I'm also bringing this up is David, he thinks he's going to make Young Guns 3. I don't think we can call it Young Guns, but this man is now trying to get, I guess he wants to call it Guns, as in he made a Western movie in the 80s with
Guns.
Kiefer Sutherland, Emilio Estevez, Lou Diamond Phillips, and he actually wants to make Guns 3.
Really?
In a time where Westerns have all but died out completely, he thinks, but my whole point is, well, then why don't you try acting on screen? Because I'm even sitting at home and I'm like playing director to where I'm like, cut, you, come here. What is wrong with you? Are you all right?
What is wrong with you?
Anyway, so the fact that I watched that but didn't rewatch this, I deserve a smack. I do. It's fine. I'm sorry, everybody. It will never happen again.
Listen, we all have our guilty pleasures. I know
you have yours too. I won't open doors. We're gonna keep that free, quiet for now. But all in all, so it's a recommend from you. I will definitely check it out again. And I was mentioning earlier about the runtime of Zack Snyder. His movies always run long. Let's be honest. And obviously, the big news was that he finally got the Snyder Cut made, which we've talked about. But ever since he did that, something happened in Hollywood.
Yes, John. It is now the resurgence of people wanting director's cuts.
Of everything. Like, it is
everything.
It has exploded everywhere to where once Zack Snyder got this, now everybody's going apeshit. At first it was David Ayer saying, I want my Suicide Squad cut, which has more Jared Leto's Joker, and you know, that pretty much got shot down by Warner Brothers. But
Warner Brothers like, fuck that.
Yeah, but then you have The Godfather 3 has a new director's cut. Sylvester Stallone.
Go ahead. This is what I was scared about when this Zack Snyder cut. I remember I felt like I said this. I was like, this is gonna open the doors, the floodgates,
it has,
for people who want to have their directors. Because I feel like when you see the director's cut, I feel like it only goes with those movies that has such troubled productions, or you know, the director didn't really was outspoken. Whenever you hear those stories when like the director really didn't,
the studio interfered too much.
Yes, too much. And then we get a director's cut. Cool. But with this Zack Snyder, it was because he had built this. I don't know, because maybe it's like a combination of like the hardcore comic book fans and the Zack Snyder fans, like kind of came together and created this perfect storm where we really bullied Warner Brothers into, hey, and you know what? It's not even our fault, to be honest with you. It's the studio's fault, you know. And also, I would say also the tragic passing of his daughter. It's like all those things just kind of just like made it just, you know, this situation to happen. Also, I mean, I feel like honestly most of the blame could go to the studios because how the actors were, treated. Then
It's coming out more and more that Joss Whedon's a fucking bastard. Apparently,
Yes.
like it's true. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to become a villain. Because holy shit, is he a villain now?
Yes,
This man
he's a man who was
a god.
loved. Yes, we loved
He was a god.
him.
This is the Avengers. This guy brought the Avengers to the screen, David. This guy was royalty.
Yes.
Everybody wanted him to do everything. You remember?
Everything. Yes, and the fact that even his show, Firefly, one season, loved it. He had his fingers in all the cult classics that we all love. I think he did. Was it Dark Angel with Jessica Alba, or was it something else?
Was it what? I'm sorry.
Joss Whedon, did he write or have anything to do with? Was it Dark Angel with Jessica Alba, or was that something else?
That was James Cameron. But he did. I think he
Cameron,
did
okay.
Alias, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Alias. Okay, I was thought it was one of those. They're like sort of all.
He's had his hand in a
intertwined
lot
with
of
each
shit.
other.
I mean, this guy did, Serenity, Firefly, which then he had the film Serenity. I mean, this man was, comic book royalty. And when he got Avengers and he knocked it out of the park with that, it was just like everybody loved him. Then he did the follow-up, Age of Ultron. I mean, he was on fire, this man. It was so... That's why when Zack Snyder had to step down for the tragedy, when he was announced first, nobody batted an eye because this is the guy that did Avengers. Nobody thought he would fuck this up.
Exactly. No one thought he would mess it up, but God, did he fuck it.
But the other thing too is we still will never know. I mean, I understand like he was a dick to actors and they have every right to say what they got to say, but we will never know the full extent of how much of it was his fault versus how much of it was the studios. You can't.
I still want to put majority of the blame on the studios because it's just like it is.
Me too.
And also like all the little stories that came up. It's like
it's not him.
the interference, like like Man of Steel, they was cool with, and then all of a sudden I think, however, I think it was Birds of Prey or something. Then they got worried about Batman v Superman, and then they completely
because Batman v Superman had the darker tone, and it wasn't And there's a movie, right off, that got its director's cut. And if you haven't seen it, because I have spoken to people that have such a bad taste in their mouth from the theatrical, they haven't given the director's cut of Batman v Superman a chance. And if you haven't, you are missing out because it drastically improves.
Yes.
Granted, there are some issues, of course. We can tear it apart. It's not perfect, but it's very... I think underappreciated, and I feel it is a masterpiece.
Yes, if you get a chance, watch I think they call it the Ultimate Cut, whatever, director's cut. Watch that version of Batman v Superman because they also include things that make more sense about the story. It's like, why would you cut?
Yes.
It's like I don't know. Think of your favorite movie, like Lion King. They cut the part of Mufasa dying. That's an integral part that makes sense in the story. They cut some stuff out like that. They cut stuff out of that. And Batman v Superman, where it's like, why did y'all cut this out? Like when you see it makes sense. It's like, oh.
But then if you look, it's exactly the same thing with Justice League. It's not that it was but it was so much was cut that was so integral to this narrative, and that when you saw it, it was so rich and like, wow, this is a movie. It felt very similar to that.
As we said numerous times, we hated the Flash.
Oh,
and
God.
then when we see the Snyder Cut, it's like, oh, he's actually a hero. He's actually a superhero in this movie.
Right. He fared a little better. I still not a big fan of him as the Flash. We won't get it. But this is not to talk about Justice League. I know we've talked about till nauseum. But the whole point of this now is now the floodgates have opened now. And the difference is, like you said, this was a very rare exception, the Justice League, where there was a tragedy, this other director came in, studio decisions were made, and this whole cut was just bastardized and made into garbage but there were traces of something in there, and there was a trailer full of footage we didn't see to where fans demanded it. There was a need for it.
Exactly, because again, the thing that made it even crazy with this all ties into the director's cut of movies, but this all tied into how Warner Brothers treated Justice League. Like you said, we saw a trailer with damn near all the scenes in the trailer were not in the movie.
We're not in the movie.
We see that sometimes with trailers. They'll include like a scene or two that's not in the movie. No,
Yeah,
Justice
1 or 2.
League. The Justice League trailer, 98% of what you saw in the trailer is not in
Yup.
the movie. We also heard
Not even
about
close.
Zack Snyder leaving, and then what happened with that. We also hear about how they was treated, the reshoots. It was everything that could go wrong about that movie happened. Henry Cavill couldn't shave because he was filming Mission Impossible. So when he did reshoots, they had to redo his face. That became a whole thing in itself. So when you list all these things going against this movie, of course you're going to want the original version, especially after you see it, after you see all these problems and then you see the movie and you can tell it's two different tones. It's like,
Completely.
the fuck happened?
Yeah.
You want to know. We want to see the original version. So they pretty much did it to themselves where we as fans, I mean, I feel like, again, when you hear all these stories, of course you want to know, hey, what's the original version like? With Blade Runner, how many issues they had with that movie? With a point where it's like,
Well, you're beating me to the punch, because what I was just gonna say. Okay, but now that this floodgate has opened, and I'm just gonna briefly cover some of the movies now that are out there that people are saying, hey, I got a director's cut in my back pocket, and we're talking Sylvester Stallone right now is finishing up. I think it's pretty much done. Has done a director's cut of Rocky 4.
why?
Which he's renaming Rocky versus Drago. I don't know. I mean, yes, Rocky 4 definitely feels very chopped up. It's a very short movie. There's definitely could feel like there could be some more movie in there. There's the weird robot in the movie, which I know he's eliminating from this version. But my point is, though, the difference is people wanted the Justice League. No one asked for Rocky 4. No one is asking for the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. He put it out there. That kind of got shot down quick. The Godfather 3 came and went. It's out there. I don't think anybody's even really giving a shit. Also, you have now... They're also throwing it out there, and this is probably the weirdest one, is the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever, the late Joel Schumacher, saying that there's an extended cut of that if you want it, but nobody fucking wants that. Who gives a shit?
That's the thing about director cuts. How many times have we seen movies that we love, the cult following favorites, that you get the director's cut? Because why? Because we love them that much. We actually want those things. We don't want these things from these other movies. Their time, we haven't heard any stories about how bad the production was, how much shit was changed, how much the original director's vision got changed. No, we heard that with these movies that we love, especially we're going to bring it back to Justice League, how they just completely annihilated his vision of what he has set up. It's like all these it goes back to what we wanted as fans. We don't want these things. We like them the way, like right now, if you said there was a director's cut of the Goonies being made right now, I'm like, why? The original was perfect. I see nothing wrong with that one. I did not hear any issues. It looked like everyone had a good time. I mean, you can. I like now that they include deleted scenes. That's cool. It doesn't really change too much of what's going on.
No.
But
there is a major scene they cut though from Goonies, and I saw it on
with the octopus.
Yeah, because at the end, you remember Data says the octopus was very scary. But you don't see it in the director's cut. Also, and I saw that years ago on TV, because when it was shown on TV, a lot of movies there's these TV cuts that exist that don't exist anymore, which is they added extra scenes to fill in runtime. It happened for all the way back to Halloween 2. They added these scenes to fill in, and even Superman. Chris Reeve's Superman is another one that has it's now on Blu-ray. It's 4 hours long, pretty much, of a huge TV cut they put. But they did that with Goonies, and there's a scene where they go to a convenience store, and they actually get a map and stuff, and they have a little interaction with the bully Troy, and that definitely is a scene that bothers me that it's not in it, because it adds to it a nice way, but it doesn't matter because the movie's fine. But my point is, if the movie's been around all this time, who gives a shit? A movie where, I'll give you another example, where fans requested it, and it wasn't, it was more of an idea because they didn't have all the footage, but Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, was only came to surface because fans demanded it back in 2006. What happened was Richard Donner directed Chris Reeve's Superman. Then he was shooting that and Superman 2 back to back. Okay, and he was doing both, and he didn't get along with the producers, the Salkinds, very famous story, and they fired him. So they brought on Richard Lester. Very, very similar. It's very eerie how similar this is to Justice League. And so Richard Lester comes on, and he's directing his own scenes, and his whole way of being and everything, his eye is different. And the cast members loved Richard Donner. They did not like Richard Lester very much. He had a whole different style to him, and he did some kind of wacky things with Superman, and it's tonally feels very different scene to scene. So they resurfaced. They got Richard Donner to kind of put in the old footage. Unfortunately, he didn't have everything he needed, so he used some audition footage of Christopher Reeve to fill in some scenes, and it gave you an idea of what could have been. It's definitely not like Justice League where it functions as a full movie, but it was something that fans wanted. It's like, wow, cool. At least we got in, including a scene with Marlon Brando and Christopher Reeve together, which is like, oh my god, why was that cut? But that's more of a...
And again, we heard about these things. Yeah. These things were rumors.
Yes, and so again, and it was like, whoa, what is that? You know, the question is like, for these other films now, even Zack Snyder now is. Now here's one I want to ask you about. You and I have both said on this podcast we support Sucker Punch. We feel it's a very underrated movie, and he claims there is a director's cut of that exists. Do we want it though?
I'm gonna be honest with you, John. No, I do not want it.
Me neither. Like, let it go, man.
I'll be perfectly fine. Yeah, it's not like we heard these stories. Like, now you're telling us, but you're telling us after.
Yeah.
Because Justice League Snyder was so unprecedented. There's never been a time where a studio actually put money back in that amount, at least, to make, a whole new movie.
Well, they weren't going to, though. They were just going to throw it out there unfinished, and Zack Snyder was like, no, we're doing this right, or we're not doing it at all. Like,
yes. I don't know, did he really even have reshoots? It just pretty much just took all of Joss Whedon's parts out and put back in his story what he wanted.
No, there's like, I think there's like 5 minutes of reshoots, and there was a lot of CGI effects added in. But there was like the Martian Manhunter stuff. I think that was, especially at the end where he talks to Bruce Wayne. I could tell that's a reshoot.
Yeah, because he definitely looked a little bit skinnier.
Yes, he did. And of course, the Joker scene, the post-apocalyptic future. I don't know if Henry reshot anything. But I do know that there was... I'm just a little bummed, though, that the Green Lantern scene, which he's revealed pictures of. You got 4 hours in. You couldn't sneak him in.
There was pictures?
You didn't see?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I did not.
I did not, no.
But yeah, it was behind the scenes, and it was definitely Jon Stewart, which I'm fucking psyched about, because I'm like, they're always trying to, figure this Green Lantern thing out after the Ryan Reynolds debacle. And I was waiting anxiously. I thought it was so much shit has been tossed around for Green Lantern, including like Tom Cruise playing an older Hal Jordan, passing along to Jon Stewart. So many fucking announcements. So many times they've promised it. It's just one bullshit project after another. They just throw out there to shut fans up and then disappoint them. But the whole point here is, and that's another one. Even Green Lantern got an extended cut that didn't matter. But there are movies to where the director's cut drastically improves it. Blade Runner, like you mentioned, is definitely one of them for sure. Superman 2, like I said, even though it suffers from things that are out of its control, like not being able to reshoot things and stuff like that, but still it gives it way more heart. And the Jor-El, Marlon Brando scenes alone. Batman v Superman for sure. Like, do you have any examples of director's cuts where it's like, yeah, this definitely works besides Justice League?
I can't think of none right now, especially ones that had issues or any movies I would want.
Well, I would say another one. I would say Daredevil for sure. The director's cut is way better than the theatrical. I'm talking Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
I heard that. I was about to say, I heard that was better.
You never saw it?
No.
Yeah, I mean, the theatrical cut kind of came and went. It was like a PG-13, and it had some good moments, but the director's cut is way, way better. It's R-rated. There's definitely more scenes in there. It feels very, not as long, but it feels kind of Snyder Cut-esque, where there's a little more plot in there. There's some more scenes to where it just flows better. There's better action, I think. I think there's some things that were cut that when it's put in there, it feels more like a real Daredevil movie. Not as good as Netflix, of course. Nothing will beat that. But it's
nothing will beat that.
But it's definitely a drastic improvement over the theatrical cut for sure.
Then that's a movie I need to see.
You do. But then you have things like, okay, here's one for you. How about the X-Men Days of Future Past when they released the fucking Rogue cut, where the only difference is they put fucking Rogue and the couple scenes they shot with her in there. Like, does that really matter?
I mean, I feel like it's another way for them to just make money. Like, they didn't really cut. I mean, they cut her out, and it's like,
did it matter?
Yeah, cutting her out. You know, her having her in there, in the movie, not in the movie, it doesn't really change too much.
No.
It just. No. I think it's only because we was like, "Where's Rogue?" Because they never gave us, I guess, an answer. Because she's so part of, at least the X-Men franchise, the X-Men movie franchise. It's like, hey, where's she at?
But it didn't matter because you know why? They fucking shit the bed with her. Rogue is a badass. Like, she's such a good character. She's so awesome on the cartoon. And that is not at all what was in that 20th Century Fox universe, man. They fucked some shit up. Oh, let me ask you this. What about The Lord of the Rings? That trilogy, they're already 3 hours long, and then they get these extended cuts, which are like, ugh.
Nope, we don't need it. Nope. I'm sorry, that shit is too long. I think it was good as it was.
Dude, I mean, I know somebody that has like watched them. I'm talking the extended versions multiple times. I don't know how the hell you do that, because I'll be perfectly honest with you, I love Lord of the Rings. I think it's Peter Jackson's masterpiece. But that being said, I've only watched all 3 of them as a trilogy once. I can't do it again. It's not that I don't want to. A lot of times I just revisit Return of the King. It's such, I feel like I take the entire walk with them.
Every little step I take, you will be there. Every little step I make,
putting the ring in the volcano,
throw it in the lava. It's my goal, my Smeagol.
Frodo and Sam are gay. Who said that? Oh my god!
I know.
Come on. They love each other, those two, and it should just be. I wish they'd embrace that. I wish him and Sam, Frodo and Sam, just made out at the end. Like, I feel like that'd have been great, because they definitely gave each other eyes. Like, oh, later on, I'm gonna talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like.
It's like, we're gonna have a little conversation.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. You're gonna be the Lord of my ring.
They're gonna show me why they call you Frodo Bagpipes.
No. Frodo Big Balls. Is that gonna be his name? All right. all right, everyone. All right. It kind of sounds like a mafia guy. Like, who broke your legs? It's Frodo Big Balls over here. All right. I'm sorry. That's. I'm just making that so many inappropriate things here. Fuck it, whatever.
Listen, why not? That shit is hilarious. Why not?
I mean, let's just call it for what it is. I mean, you have 2 child actors. You have the star of the Goonies. Then you got Elijah Wood, the kid who everyone thought was this adorable child actor, was going to grow up to be this handsome man and grow up to just be a weird version of himself. And now,
pretty much.
I mean. Oof, like, he aged in a way where it's like, yeah, you're playing a hobbit. That's what you're doing. Like, that dude is a child actor. He dominated, like, Hollywood. He was in so many movies and was such an adorable kid with these big blue eyes and everything. It's like, oh, he's going to be like, when he gets older, he's going to be this and that. And then he aged, it's like, oh, you're just like a man-child.
Pretty much. It's like, ooh, what's going on here?
And then when he played the role in Sin City, it was like, yo.
He fit that role perfectly. Yeah, he fit that role real perfectly. I was like, I'm scared.
It's like, all right. So Mr. Frodo likes to get creepy.
I mean, if he wants, I feel like this is okay. Stay with me on this one. If they can just make him look taller, maybe he can play like a Michael Jackson, like a horror movie version of Michael Jackson.
Oh my God! Did we get Elijah Wood as Michael Jackson? Is this? And then obviously now. Who was Elijah Wood in The Good Son with?
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin. So we get We get Elijah Woods, Michael Jackson with Macaulay Culkin, and we get that whole just make that movie, and then we call it Home Alone because you're home alone with Michael, and
Oh my god.
yeah.
Oh my god, I
But
can
you
get
changed
twisted.
I'm sorry, you put it like Alone at Michael's home. This way, Home Alone is in the title, but you're not getting sued.
Ooh. I like the way you think.
There it is. And then, you have it be a horror movie. Yeah, he thinks he's coming over for a sleepover and he wigs out and he's in these creepy, Michael's weird carnival-like fucking rides and amusement park he had in his backyard at nighttime. So it's just, Michael's just creeping around this like fun house and shit. And then you have Macaulay go into his Kevin McAllister mode where he sets booby traps and shit so that you so it's like it's like creepy funhouse movie meets Saw because everyone thinks that Kevin McAllister became Jigsaw. Let's just lean into everything and just give the fans what they want.
Yes, give the fans what they want. Just come on. Why you guys are being so difficult? Like, why you guys want to make this so hard? Just go with it.
Just to wrap this up, of all these director's cuts that you've been hearing being thrown out there, is there anyone where you're really like, oh, you know what, I want to see that?
No, not really.
Exactly. No. I'm a huge Rocky fan. I could give half of a shit that he's doing this Rocky 4 director's cut, which he claims is going to be, I really don't know. I mean, I shouldn't shut my mouth because I haven't seen it, but it's called Rocky versus Drago. It's not even Rocky 4 anymore, which I thought was weird. I mean, What bothers me about it is, the one thing that irks me is where Apollo just jumps in the ring with Dolph Lundgren. Like, he asks Rocky to stand by his side one last time. What I wanted to see was Apollo half-ass training, like not taking it seriously, and Rocky saying to him, like, come on, we got to do this. And he's like, it's cool. It's just nothing. It's a big show. I'll beat him. But what doesn't sell, what's never sold to me about that movie is they try to make it that Apollo's washed up. Carl Weathers is in the best shape of his life in that movie.
Very true.
I mean, he's so fucking dieseled and ripped. Like, this is supposed to be him at his sloppiest?
I don't think so, because he had a lot more muscles than I have.
Right. Well, not by much. But let's just...
Thank you.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, he's teeing off on Drago, right? And nothing's even hurting him. But then Rocky gets in at the end, and he's cutting him and beating him up and everything. But it's like, wait, you're trying to tell me that Apollo doesn't have any power? Look at him. He's got...
Apollo's in heaven, like, what the fuck?
That's bullshit. Like, it doesn't work that he's that out of shape when he's not. He's in the best shape of his life, so why wouldn't he put up a better fight?
John, I don't know. This is the way... Listen, when you're Sylvester Stallone, you have a series called Rocky, you can do what you want too.
Well, we will see. It's all coming down the road, but it's very unprecedented. Like we said, this whole renaissance because of the unprecedented director's cut of Snyder Cut. Another thing that's unprecedented, David, is something that happened in the world of television. Very weird. Very weird. So,
are you talking about the Powerpuff Girls?
I am, sir. So there's been this talk that a Powerpuff Girls live action show is coming to the CW, produced by the great Greg Berlanti, the man behind Arrow and Supergirl and Flash and everything that works on the CW. And that's a big name, and it was like, whoa, okay, cool. And then they showed the cast, and these grown women. It's not the little girls. This is based on the Cartoon Network, adorable anime-style show, which is not at all the vibe that I got when I saw the pictures of these women. But it was like, okay.
Yeah,
and
these are grown women that we're dealing with now.
Grown-ass women. And these were like girls. And so they were talking about this, and then... evidently, it was ordered to series. They shot a pilot. Everybody was waiting. Then all of a sudden, they just announced, yeah, we're that pilot's not happening. And typically with a pilot, the whole point of a pilot is it's a sample. It's saying, here, this is what this show is going to be. Usually they're a little longer, sometimes 2 hours if it's a 1 hour show. And there's a pilot season every year in television. They do all these pilots, most of which you will never see. The actors get paid big money to do it. They shoot a lot of sitcoms, all sorts of shows. And out of like 10, they maybe pick 3, okay? And if a pilot doesn't work, That's it. It's like, okay, we saw your sample, we're done. Here, though, it was announced that this pilot is going to be scrapped, and it's going to be rethought and reshot, which was so bizarre to me. Like, okay, but still sort of going with the same sort of cast, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it is the same cast.
Yes, I think it's the same cast. But just like you said, it's just weird.
So, what if it didn't work? What exactly are you going to do differently?
Listen, I chalk this up to the Snyder Cut. Oh, we want a director's cut of the pilot.
Now, did you watch the Powerpuff Girls on the Cartoon Network? Because I did from time to time.
Oh yeah, I love the Powerpuff Girls on the Cartoon Network. I used to love watching that show. Mojo Jojo.
Exactly. It's fun. It's upbeat. The animation's very exaggerated. They're cute. Like, of all the cartoons to make into a live action CW sort of emo show, why the Powerpuff Girls?
Honestly, I feel like the Powerpuff Girls fits into that whole dark, because they already did it with the Archie, they call it Riverdale.
That's what I was going to ask you.
You know, adult theme.
Right, I was going to ask you. Now,
yeah, I think they're following that.
You watched Riverdale, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I watched maybe the first 2 seasons.
Okay, now Riverdale is based on the Archie comics. Archie's it's been around since forever. Started as a comic strip. And very kind of hokey, sort of cheesy, upbeat sort of comic book that they made into this more serious toned live action show. And did it work?
I think it worked. Yeah, I was thoroughly in. It was like, eye rolling because it's like high school kids, blah blah blah. But it was still entertaining. So like I see the appeal, especially if you have these shows where all these CW shows are doing pretty well. I mean,
especially with Berlanti's
exactly. So you kind of like. Think about it. Steven Spielberg gets final cut because all his movies are pretty much amazing in box office and sell out. So it's like, I guess when you have that type of track record, you're allowed to like, hey, let me try the Powerpuff Girls. And it's like, you know what? You've been making a bunch of hits for us so far. Shit, why not? And he probably was doing so well at these other how many WB shows are there? Like 10 plus that he probably created?
Yeah, I mean, if you think, you want to go through them real quick?
Yeah.
So you figure Berlanti's did Arrow, which led into The Flash. Then you have
Supergirl,
Legends of Tomorrow. You have Supergirl, Black Lightning. I think his name was on that too. I know that's not really
makes sense.
And now the Stargirl, and now this. I mean, he's the reason that universe in there, and it's so fun and so satisfying, and so everybody's so well cast to the point where they should have been on the big screen, but whatever. Minus the only one though to be and Superman and Lois, which I'm not. I am a diehard Superman fan, as you know, David. Been since birth. I love it. I cannot stand that fucking show. It's the only incarnation of Superman, and I'm talking cartoons, TV shows, and movies that I have not watched. I tried it. I don't like the casting of those two. This is me. I mean, if you like it, by all means, God bless. I'm not trying to judge you.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm good. It's just, no likey.
It's like, I'm good. I don't need this.
No, I mean, it kind of pisses me off too, because like in the Berlanti verse and the crossovers, Brandon Routh, who plays Superman in Superman Returns, the one and done, the not very well received Superman Returns, he played a great Superman. It was not his fault, and he got another shot on the crossover event, Crisis on Infinite Earths. And seeing his Superman, seeing him back in the suit, and he's got such a resemblance to Christopher Reeve, and he has the same kind of presence, fans went crazy saying, oh, we hope he gets his own show. However, this Tyler Hoechlin, who started out in Road to Perdition, actually, as a child actor. He was on Teen Wolf. He's Superman in the Supergirl verse. And they ended up giving him this show for reasons, I guess. And, I mean, whatever. It seems to be doing well, and I wish anything Superman well, but it's kind of just breaks my heart, the fact that Henry got so screwed as Superman. Like, he's pretty much being taken from him. Brandon Routh got screwed. And these two guys are probably two of the best since Christopher Reeve that have done it. So I don't know, but this is brilliant. Sorry, getting off tangent. that's Berlanti. That's what his name is associated with. And really quick, before we go any further, that the CW boss, his name is Mark Pedowitz.
Okay, Pedowitz.
He made the official decision not take the Powerpuff Girls live action pilot to series, but it will be redeveloped for future consideration. How long in the future, I don't know, but he did give a statement in which he said the reason, he didn't say specifically what needed to be redone, but he did say that the pilot, now just remember we're talking about Powerpuff Girls,
yes.
okay? Might have felt too campy.
That felt too campy?
How?
Out of all the shows you guys have, that felt too campy.
But the source material is campy. It's fun. It's bright. It's, it's very campy. That's what it is. So to me, seeing they only released these posters of these girls with these they look like they're in they're modeling lipstick. They're like L'Oreal or something. They're not showing much emotion. And they're just there, and they're grown women. I know it was supposed to be the kind of thing where they, correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't like where they were going to flash back to when they were kids or something.
I think so.
It had some interesting other cast members, including the great Donald Faison from Scrubs and Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh yeah, he was gonna be the. It's like everything. It's like the more we seen the press release of this, I got more excited. Like, hey, I actually will watch this.
It definitely got some buzz. A lot of people were interested. I think everyone, for the most part, are probably like, how the hell is this going to work? Mm-hmm. And I think because of that reason, maybe, because this is so one of those things where it can go either really good or really bad with no in between. That's probably why I feel maybe they're being a little harsher on this, because with Berlanti's name on it, you don't want to ruin that track record. Mm-hmm. But my question to you is, making an animated series or movie into a live action form when the source material is animated, that's what it's known for, that's what it hit, that's what it was his bread and butter, does it ever really work to where it's just as good, if not better?
I don't know. I feel like it's a hit and miss sometimes. Like, I feel like sometimes you never fully know. But the way they was portraying this show, I thought it was going to be green lit immediately.
Right? Me too. I mean, for how into the production this was, they shot a pilot, the whole thing. I mean, I was very surprised. And now here's what's interesting is, for years of me going to cons, if you go to these sort of tables where you have these sellers that sell DVDs, they're bootlegs, but whatever, you will see a lot of pilots that were made, came and went. Especially in the superhero genre, you had the Aquaman pilot, which came and went. This is before it was like supposed to be the spin-off of Smallville, kind of, and not the guy who played Aquaman in Smallville. This was like right around the time of, like, I think Smallville was first, then this. It was one and done. You had that Wonder Woman show, remember that, where they just shot the pilot.
Oh. Yeah, and you didn't. I mean, in a costume, I was like, yeah. But I mean, at least you saw like behind the scenes and stuff like that. At least you had that much.
And I'm telling you right now, this thing, I'm telling you, if it gets out there, it's going to be something that is very hot at cons. I think it's going to be something that, if I see it, I'll tell you right now, I'm fucking buying it. I don't care. I got to see this. I want to know what was so bad that, like, compared to the other stuff, like you said on CW. Let's face it, it's very cheesy. It's entertaining, but it's very fucking cheesy and very campy.
Exactly.
So what was in this pilot that made them say, after they spent the money and everything, no, this isn't working?
No, this is not us. I don't think this is gonna work.
But the other thing is, how did it get into... This is what I don't understand. They're involved with production the entire time. You know the script, you know it's being shot. You can always pop in and see what's going on. How is it that you didn't see this until it was finished? To see that this is a bad idea, Like, what happened?
Yeah, what? Yeah, I don't know. Something might have... Someone must have got set off like, nope, this is bullshit. I will not accept it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, did you think one of the cast members, like, maybe pissed somebody off or something? Like, I just feel there's something... I don't buy it. I don't buy his statement. That's just me. I just feel it's weird that his statement is it was a little too campy when CW is campy. CW might as well stand for Campy World because that's what it is. And Powerpuff
is what they're known for. It's like we're not getting high quality. We are getting great quality. We're not getting like
it's fun though.
You know, the thoughtful HBO type shows.
No, this is not Game of Thrones. This isn't The Sopranos. It's not. This is, you know, granted the Flash is phenomenal. I think Grant Gustin's great. I think what Stephen Amell did with Arrow, very amazing. Like there's some great shit on there, but for the most part though, but in a great way. It's got the right amount of cheese where you're like, this is just what I needed, you know?
Exactly. It's like I feel like with the CW, they know who their demographic is. It's like young people. I mean, not that we're young, but I mean, like maybe like the 25 and younger.
Speak for yourself. Let me tell you something, Sonny. I've been watching The Flash since the first fucking episode when his symbol was red. Anyway, but yeah. So my question is, we won't stay on this topic long. I just want to know: do you think that it's just been kind of gracefully tossed away?
I think it's gracefully being tossed away. They had however they pitched it, they was like, yes, let's do this, let's move forward. And then they made it and it was like, ooh, shit. Fuck.
Yeah, something in the 0 hour, in the final moments went that bad to where they pulled the plug. And they're not cheap to shoot, those pilots. There's effects, this is polished stuff. This isn't low budget, so for them to go through all, and this isn't some sitcom where you just have a couple cameras on a set and it's people just, saying laughs to a fake audience. This is action, this is stunts, this is visual effects, this is very expensive lighting, this is no joke, man. I mean, you're paying full salaries for everybody. So what happened?
I'm gonna put out a limb. Maybe somebody felt a certain way and didn't feel comfortable, so they had to shut it down.
I'm with you. But you don't buy it, right? You think there's definitely more?
Yeah, I don't buy it. Yeah, something happened that they did not like, or someone probably got rubbed the wrong way. I'm just putting it out there. Someone just
So we will see what happens with Powerpuff Girls. But in other news, a trailer dropped, and not just any trailer. From the MC motherfucking U, the Eternals dropped. A lot of talk for a while. This was definitely the wild card of what was coming down the road. A lot of us wondering, how is this going to work on the big screen? And we got our first taste in the trailer that dropped for Eternals starring Angelina Jolie. What did you think, David Could?
Now, let's just say right here in open, I have no idea what this movie is going to be about. I am in the dark.
Thank you. I have no fucking clue either. Does this even count as a teaser?
I mean, yes, because it's teasing us, because we don't know anything. So it's just like hey, it's like, here you go. I know nothing. I know nothing.
I know nothing either, and I've collected comics since I was a kid. I don't know jack shit about the Eternals, and I'll admit that.
Yes.
A lot of comic snobs out there know everything. This is one I don't know. I don't know anybody's name, but I like it. But
I know a couple. I did a little bit of research, but you can go ahead. I
know you do. You always do research. Listen, when the Wikipedia comes out, look at me, you. Don't read it.
Yes, I'm looking.
Don't read it.
I can't.
Stop.
I'll try my best.
Reading movies for yourself. I can't stop you. I know you're going to be in there. When it comes to Wikipedia, can't stop, won't stop. David Coy.
Exactly. And I've been, looking at other blogs and stuff, but from what I can gather about the Eternals, it's pretty much they was created by the Celestials. They were created them.
That I know. I know that much.
Yes.
Like I know the gist of it. I just don't know the character names.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Well, for the fans, we're gonna do a quick run through. They was created by the Celestials. They created them. And the Deviants, and I think, did they create humans too, or did the Eternals create humans?
I want to say the Eternals, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Don't quote us on that, people. Don't quote us on that. But yes.
Don't quote me on anything.
Yes, don't quote us on anything.
Leave me alone.
Yes, we're just asking questions. We're asking questions. But
you didn't say shit.
Exactly. So, in Deviants and in Eternals, now, we've seen a Deviant already. If you do not know, Thanos is considered a Deviant.
Ooh.
So pretty much the Eternals are pretty much if you just look at it this way, any gods or mythical beasts that we have seen or not seen, heard throughout literature in past, like Icarus and Hercules, these are their people. These are the people that Hercules. Yes, these are the people that they're pretty much based off of. As in, actually, the main character Icarus, played by Richard Madden, who was also in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
His name is Icarus. So it's like their names ring some type of bell in the history of humans. But like they're pretty much like the gods, whatever. They just hang back, don't interfere until now for some odd reason. Okay, whatever. But that's
right, which was a little weird.
But pretty much what we get is that they pretty much helped civilization along. They weren't supposed to, interfere, blah blah blah. Cool, whatever. Now they want to interfere because I don't know why they didn't interfere when Thanos was out here wrecking shit, but they just let that shit.
That was what I was just gonna say. Where the fuck were they for the snap? That was a big deal.
Exactly. I don't know if they're affected by the snap. Maybe they were.
I don't know, but I gotta say though, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just one thing.
Yes.
For the general audience, I'm talking for I know that the MCU now has been in our consciousness and our culture now for 10 years plus. I get it. Even for the casual moviegoers, they're very used to the MCU. However, I don't know why, I feel like this is going to be a little too much of a deep cut of comic to appeal or be easily digested by a casual moviegoer. I could be wrong. I want to be proven wrong. Don't get me wrong. But unlike the others where, like, Captain America, Iron Man, to where there's this sort of familiarity in a way, this is definitely stepping into new ground, which they need to do. And Feige, of course, is a genius. He knows what he's doing. But I just wonder, because up until the end where they said, and I know they put it in the trailer for the casual moviegoer to be like, hey, we're in the MCU. And they're like, well, what about... Now that Tony Stark is gone and Steve Rogers who's going to lead the Avengers now, which I kind of rolled my eyes at. I'm like, really? Did you have to throw that in? But I get why, because the rest of this movie, it does not look like an MCU movie.
Not at all. And like you said, it is a wild card. But again, like you said, Guardians of the Galaxy, it worked.
Yes,
no one knew about the Guardians of the Galaxy until the movie came out.
Valid point.
So it's like, I feel like, with the people they made Captain Marvel, they brought in some people that you think they probably would never, so they're taking their chances. And plus, I feel like if you're gonna make a studio based on the Marvel universe, like a movie franchise based off it, you gotta include even the difficult guys. Like, you gotta include the ones that probably don't make sense. If you gotta change a little bit about the origins or something to make it more palatable to us viewers, you gotta do it. As a fan, like as a fan, it's like, hey, how you guys gonna just talk about the easy people, Captain America, Iron Man, but not talk about Galactus? Don't how you not gonna involve the Watchers and stuff like that? So
exactly, and they've definitely run the gauntlet on them, on Captain America, on Iron Man. They've stretched that out as far as they can go. Now there's obviously a new Captain America and stuff like that. Iron Man is gone. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. So the big guns are kind of not there. So, and now you have this definite more experimental, I feel. And this is what needs to happen in film, but I love that Shang-Chi is coming. Interestingly enough, you have Shang-Chi that's more of a martial arts film. You have Black Widow that functions more as an action film. These are kind of smaller, I guess, in a way. It's not, you don't have a god like Thor. You don't have the red, white, and blue super soldier. You don't have Iron Man flying around. This feels very different, and I get that because we've already done that. But with this is the one where I'm very curious to see how this will play out. The Eternals. This has been talked about for so long. And ironically also,
yes,
if you remember, they have tried, I think, with every MCU movie to get Keanu Reeves in there. I think he's been offered a role, I'm not even joking, in like every MCU movie, but this was the one where I was almost certain he was going to be in it, but he's not. So, kind of a little downer. I mean, other than Angelina Jolie, I'm happy she's in there. She looks like a nice fit.
Oh yeah. Also, Selma Hayek. I love her.
Yeah.
Also, her name is, hold on, I just had it up. Gemma Chan. She is playing Cersei, but if you The thing is, she was also in another MCU movie.
What?
She was in Captain Marvel.
Shut up! Yes, she was.
She was called Minerva. She was
Oh
one of
my God.
one of the snipers. That was her. The woman in green. Well, that was her. She was. I mean,
Deep
clearly
cuts.
as good that she can play two different roles. Because when you look at her and all her makeup and stuff, you don't even know that's her.
No, but that's kind of cool that she snuck in now in like 2 different roles. You know, wow, that's cool shit. But all in all, though, this really didn't show much. And this got me thinking though of like trailers. I feel like with trailers, modern trailers, it's either they don't show shit or they show way too much to where it spoils the movie completely, and you kind of pretty much see the whole movie play out in the trailer. That shit drives me insane.
Also, speaking of, I just found this information out. You will probably love it. Guess who is playing? Breaking news.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. David
Guess
Coy.
who's playing
Breaking
Kraven
news.
the Hunter in a Sony Spider-Man spinoff?
Oh, I just read this actually. It's funny you said that. I just read the same thing. Yeah, This is
Yes.
something that's been tossed around for a while. A lot of names have been thrown around, and it looks like they have officially landed on an actor, and it's one that I did not see coming, that's for sure.
Exactly. I see what you did there.
An MCU alumni.
Exactly. Aaron Taylor Johnson, which I'm also confused. How are they doing this? But also at the same time, because it's a Sony project, maybe that's how they're going to get away with it.
Yeah, because technically the Sonyverse is Marvel adjacent, and such is the case with Venom, that Spider-Man doesn't exist in that world, supposedly, which I don't understand. I don't get Sony's fucking mentality. I really don't. You came together to make the Spider-Man movies with Marvel, but that Spider-Man, what's his name? Who's playing Spider-Man now? Oh my God.
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland's Spider-Man can only exist in the Disney Marvel films. His suit especially was designed by Tony Stark, which is why when you see the the behind the scenes photos of the movie that I don't know if we're ever going to see, the Jared Leto Morbius movie. And
Oh yeah, I forgot about that movie.
yeah, and you see the posters on the wall behind him of Spider-Man, it's actually Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So I don't, and with the
Actually, is it Tobey Maguire?
It
yeah,
is.
It's Tobey
It
Maguire.
is.
I've heard it's either Tobey Maguire. Okay.
it is.
Okay, you're right.
And I'm guessing, I mean, there's all talk in this new Spider-Man movie that's coming that there's going to be a multiverse, but they've already spoken to Andrew Garfield and all. He denied it. Of course,
Of course.
even if he is, he's not going to admit it.
Exactly.
But my question is, I'm wondering, is that going to be how you're able to kind of say the Sonyverse is over here and we're over here? That's how you have Venom and Carnage, 2 fucking villains of Spider-Man, who originate from Spider-Man, who are now in a fucking movie together with no fucking Spider-Man. It gets me upset. I can't fucking stand it. I don't understand why they are doing it this way. I don't. All right, you give me one Venom movie, fine. You want to do it in a different way, fine. But you can't get to a second one now and introduce Carnage with no mention of Spider-Man. Come on.
yeah, that doesn't make sense.
This is like Lex Luthor and Joker being in a movie together, but no mention of Superman and Batman even existing. It would be so weird.
Yeah, I just don't get it. But I mean, it is what it is. It's so confusing. I don't know how they're able to make it work, but it's just I don't know. It's just play ball, Sony. Like, as fans of us watching it, you're literally confusing us. You're making us choose. Not even choose. It's just like, what? We're just confused. Like, what? What's going on?
You know what? I'm going to say this. This is going to sting, Sony, but you deserve it. David, I'm sorry. You're being very Warner Brothers. I'm just saying it. You're being very Warner. I said it.
And you know what's funny?
I said it.
You know what's funny?
What?
I wish I can find. I think it was on TikTok where they was just breaking down. He's like, it's the way they did it. It was just like all the movies that didn't do well or just had too much studio interference. And who did it go back to? WB.
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. It kept going back. I was like, wow, they really have we knew it with superhero movies, but they just have a trend of just fucking up shit in general, just overstepping their boundaries. Like, how are they? I feel like they're only around just off the grace of God, because they make their hits, but it's like they make their hits almost through properties that you forget is Warner Brothers. So it's like, oh,
I feel when it works, tell me if I'm wrong, if you look at the history, it's when it's a movie that they don't kind of think is going to do that great. They can throw some money at them, but they're just like, whatever. And then they back off. And then the filmmaker has more say. And then it turns out great. And then once they see something makes a few dollars, here they come. They come kicking the door down. They interfere. And then you end up with a shitty sequel, Wonder Woman 84. Who said that? I don't know. Not me. But
yeah,
you
that
saw,
movie still don't make no sense.
and you see what happened with the Batman franchise when it went from Keaton's Batman to Schumacher's Batman and Robin, which became this hokey, cartoony thing which sold toys. And when it started out as an actual film that was dark and actually had great characters and everything, it just took this total spiral. But don't get me wrong, it's a fun-ass movie. But my point is that studio, they did it with Superman, they did it with Batman, they fucked up Green Lantern. I'll just go on and on and on. They ultimately, their history is, like, you look at it, right? Chris Reeve's Superman's one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. It started the whole ball rolling. And they completely ruined his movies. By Superman 4, it's a piece of shit. Cannon got involved. He is pitch perfect, Christopher Reeve, in every scene he's in. He's like, I don't know how. That's why, to me, he's the greatest superhero actor of all time. Because you could even put him in that shit. It doesn't matter. And he's still amazing as Superman. But then you have that, right? Then you have the Batman, right? Batman Keaton. Amazing. Starts out great. One of the greatest movies of all time. 4 movies later, just like with Superman, it's a total joke. It's so disappointing it breaks your heart, right?
Right.
Then you get Nolan's Batman. Starts out strong. Wow, Dark Knight, incredible. And then tragic passing of Heath Ledger. You get this very glued together, a lot of holes in it. Doesn't really age as well as you thought. Dark Knight Rises, and it's over. It's over. That's it. You don't get any more. Even with Superman, you get Superman Returns, this weird sequel that's not really a sequel, but it's its own thing, and it disappoints terribly. It's like, why was this made? And you get these other things, like this fucking Birds of Prey movie that takes place in the DCU, but it's really not. Batman's nowhere to be found. Why? You have this weird Joker movie that's made with Joaquin Phoenix. Maybe it isn't even really a Joker movie. It's all could be in his head. We don't fucking know. I mean, you have the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry that doesn't take, like, it goes on and on and on.
We have so many issues. Like, yo, what is going on here?
They shit the bed so many times. Like I said, when it's a hit, it's an accident, or it's a director that fought their asses off against them to get it that way.
They just gotta let them do what they want to do. I don't know, John. They're just
but you look at it this way, right? Richard Donner brought Superman to life in a way that had never been done before. Before that, you had the George Reeves 50 series, very cheesy, right? He goes in there, takes Christopher Reeve, does it with sincerity, with heart. Yeah, there's some campy parts, but there's a lot of really good stuff there, and takes it seriously. And the fans love it, the cast loves it, and what do? They fire Richard Donner and bring on this hack. Tim Burton,
yes,
right, gets Batman. Makes this dark opera that's amazing and so artistic, and it makes himself shine through. And Keaton's perfect, which nobody thought should work at all. Everyone was against it. And he nails it. Then he makes Batman, quote unquote, too dark. I'm going to say that again. He made Batman too dark. They fire him.
Batman's whole thing is dark.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know how
you get rid of him and bring in Schumacher, who, again, he's a great filmmaker. He's made Lost Boys, Falling Down. He's got a lot of masterpieces in his wake. But you bring him in for this colorful bullshit that's not dark, and it's very hokey and a lot of weird moments, a lot of cheesiness. And then it's like, what? And they do this everything. Just like everybody fell in love with Nolan doing Batman. He didn't stick around. I know Heath Ledger will do it, but still. Then you get Zack Snyder, and he's great. And then this Justice League thing hits, and everybody loves Justice League. And they're like, wow, we love Henry. We love all this stuff. And Warner Bros. Is like, no, fuck you. We're going to give you the guy from Twilight as Batman. Why?
I mean,
why?
I see why in a certain aspect, but I get it, John. I understand.
Speaking of which, random thing before we wrap up. I was on the toilet the other morning, I know your favorite place to read as well, in my office. And I read some trivia of Schumacher's Batman and Robin. And there was one thing that stood out that I just want to ask you, and this is how we'll wrap it up. Okay, as we know, Arnold Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze. Now, if he said no, there were 3 other names on the slate to officially ask them to be Mr. Freeze. Would you care to venture? I'll give you 5 guesses. I want to see if you get any of these 3.
Other men that he had consideration for Mr. Freeze.
Like if Schwarzenegger said no, these 3 were on the plate. As one of these 3 is definitely we're gonna offer it to him.
I'm already say Sylvester Stallone as my guess because
boom, you nailed it. He was right after Arnold. Yep.
Because just those 2. Okay, who else would be around that time? If you're going after these 2, I'm thinking of another. I want to say Van Damme. I could be wrong.
You are. He's not on there, but good guess. Not there.
Okay, I'm trying to think. Okay, if you wanted Arnold and Sylvester, who else?
It's random. It's very random. Just don't try to go in a pattern because it's very. I highly doubt you're gonna get these other 2, but I want to see if you can. I'll give you 2 more guesses. So
Michael Jai White.
No, I fucking wish. Don't tease me like that because I love that man. No.
Okay, my last one, Liam Neeson.
Oh my! All right, you ready? Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Do you want to know what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age and the bananas. All right, that's the. No, he's not on there. I'm gonna give it to you right now. If Arnold Schwarzenegger had said no, back in the movie came out in 1997, so we'll say they're casting this probably 95, 96, right after Batman Forever comes out. If Arnold says no, Sylvester Stallone, Patrick Stewart, and Hulk Hogan.
Patrick Stewart and Hulk Hogan?
Is there any other realm where they would ever be in the same?
Let me tell you something. He's like, let me tell you something, brother. You want to know about the Ice Age? You want to know what killed the dinosaurs? Oh! He just slaps his chest. He's like, he rips his shirt open.
Oh
like,
my god!
Ah!
What you gonna do, Batman? When I roll the freeze over you?
He's like, let me tell you something, brother. Remember my name because it's the sound of your doom, brother.
Learn it well, brother.
Hulk Hogan of all people.
Ready? Let me see if I can pull this. Hold up. Ready?
Okay.
Batman. My name is Freeze. Learn it well. It is the seal of your doom. Make it so.
Oh my god.
And then let's see. Let's go to the other one. Let me think. Oh yeah. Hey yo, I just want to say you ain't sending me the cooler, you know.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Remember my name is Mr. Free. I can't even do this like you gotta do. Excuse me, you gotta like do a little.
Alright, well, with that, we are gonna wrap up episode 8. And as we get to our end, as always, every week, we are fans of physical media. You should be too. Streaming is great, but what happens when it all goes to shit and the zombie apocalypse happens, David? What then?
Oh, of course. You gotta survive. I mean, what else you can't. There's no streaming because there's no internet because you're in a post-apocalyptic world. But with anything we've seen in these movies, they still have the basic necessities like electricity. What can you do with electricity? You can plug up a DVD and a TV. What do you know with a DVD player? You can pop in a physical DVD. And what? Yay. You can watch that movie.
That's beautiful. And yes, and even streaming has its issues. I know I have constant issues with HBO fucking Max. They're always having, I get the little fucking time running thing. It kicks me out. There's pixelation sometimes. Whereas with Blu-ray and DVD, you don't have that problem. You got all the special features. You can watch the audio commentary and learn a hell of a lot about filmmaking. By the way, side note, Zack Snyder is going to be giving his own filmmaking class on YouTube for free. Just putting that out there. Seems pretty great. But anyway, so for this week's physical media recommendation, our theme is what, David?
Since we talked about Zack Snyder and what he has started with, these trends of now everyone wants the director's cut, and what he did with Army of the Dead, we thought we should go back and say some of his favorite movies that we loved.
That's right. The theme of this week's physical media recommendation is Zack Snyder. These are physical copies that you need in your fucking collection, listen, we are rabid movie collectors, and we are going to bring you into our world. You're coming. You're coming.
Come on in, brother. It's going to be nice. We're going to have a good time. We're going to watch some Zack Snyder. We're going to be amazed.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, Hulk Hogan's still here from his Mr. Freeze audition. He did that for free. So let's show him some love. Let's just, you know what? Thank you. Thank you, Terry. A lot of people don't know that his real name is Terry. Terry Hulk Hogan, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway,
Listen, brother, don't tell him my real name. What we're going to do is we're going to tell him what my name is. It's Hulk Hogan. Because why? Because I'm the Hulking man. I was big before The Rock was big. He was a pebble when I first met him. He wasn't defined and chiseled the way I am. Because you know what, brother?
What's that?
You ready for this Hulkamania? You ready for it? Are you ready?
I'm always ready. But question for you, Hulk, before you leave.
Yes, brother.
Do you started before any wrestler? You were the one to really be the first big wrestler that I remember seeing in a movie that was a big deal. No Holds Barred, which, may have been received the way it received, but I remember that being a very big deal. The Rock, John Cena, even Batista. Would you agree that none of them would be where they were if it wasn't for you starting out as Thunderlips in Rocky 3 and then in No Holds Barred?
Listen, I'm happy to lead the way for these new generations because without me, you know what I mean? Some people open the door up for me. I'm just keep opening up the doors for them. We're going to keep this going. We're going to see how many more wrestlers we're going to get in this movie business. Sooner or later, it won't no longer be the movie business. It will just be an extension of the wrestling. Oh, yeah, baby. Kiss the muscles.
I will kiss the muscles because it's not gay if it's Hulk Hogan's muscles. Write that down. That being said, last question, Hulk, because I know you got to leave.
Yes, brother.
If it went to, I don't even want to say this out loud, but if you, John Cena, Dave Bautista, and The Rock were in a ring together and shit went down, who's coming out on top?
Brother, I gotta be honest. These are some great wrestlers. Kiss the muscles. You know what I mean? I get a little Hulk mania. You know what I mean? I get a little frazzle dazzle. These are some great wrestlers. We got The Rock, all these champions. But to be honest with you, of course, Hulkster makes it on top.
Of course. Hulkamania for life, brother.
You already know.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hulk Hogan. How great was that, huh? He came by, he graced with his presence. Can we have David come back in? I'm sorry he missed that. David had to go to the toilet real quick, and he totally missed the Hulk Hogan name. David, did you see him?
Oh, I'm here. I saw him. He gave me a high five, and then he made me kiss his muscles.
You too? Yeah, by the way, I have a lot of grease on my lips right now, and I don't feel comfortable. I just want you to know that.
I do not.
It feels weird, but it's kind of tingly. I don't know. But with that, getting past our nonsense, so the physical media recommendation are Zack Snyder films. Aside from the ones you might know in the DCU, these are outside of that. Before he did all that, before he did Man of Steel, these are movies that we feel you should own. I guess I will go first, or do you want to go first, sir?
I'll go first on this one. We're gonna take it. We're gonna take it back because everyone. I don't know if you did not see this movie. I don't know where you were during this time. You either had just been born or you're too old. But we're gonna go with the classic, based off a beloved comic book series. Okay. 300. Now, if anybody saw 300, you already know that was a great movie. The action, everything, the stylization. This was Zack Snyder being Zack Snyder.
Oh yeah.
Okay, based off
Hulkster crept out there, by the way.
Yes. Oh, I was going to say, sorry, but it was based off a comic book series by the great Frank Miller.
Oh yeah, the genius.
Yes, based off the Battle of Thermopylae, I think if I'm pronouncing it right, in the Persian Wars, which
you are.
The 300 soldiers, Spartan warriors, held off an entire legion. So, obviously this comic book was, dramatized, but, the action, it was a point where everyone was doing, this movie was so iconic, where everyone was doing, this is Sparta, and just kicking people. Yes.
It's true.
But this movie is just so, and it even starred, if anybody, I didn't realize this until I actually rewatched
a lot.
Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender's running around there. This is what put Gerard Butler on the
Yes.
map. He hasn't really, I don't think he's really done anything that's got him as much. I mean, he has the Olympus Has Fallen franchise. He's done some good shit, but I don't know if anything's ever going to be as iconic as him with that beard, rocking that chiseled bod, just being a badass.
But yes, I mean, I love this movie. It's just pure action. It's just pure fun. It's every blood, gore. I think there's like a couple titties if you like titties as well. Which, I mean, like I said, titties and action go together like peanut butter and jelly. So
that is your saying, and I'm glad you said it, and it's true. There is a lot. This is what's so great. Like they're all let's call it for what it is. Okay, there's a lot of homoerotic energy in this film. There is. I mean,
yes,
these dudes are pretty much nude around each other. A lot of physiques running around. But
yes,
that being said, they smash a lot of puss in this movie. A lot.
Ooh, yes.
They make a lot of women pregnant. It's crazy. So,
it's nuts.
Go on.
Oh yes, it's just a great movie. It's like if you like the nonsense of fun and violence, it's the Fast and Furious franchise just with blood and gore. So it's just that you got all that action, all the stuff that don't make maybe a little bit of logic, but I mean, it's just that type of movie. It's just if you want pure action, comic book fun, that's what you're there for. It's stylized, very stylized. Like, you know what? I'm gonna watch it again tonight. Thank you very much, John. But yes, it's just that great of a movie. It's just iconic, and you see the style of Zack Snyder, the early style that you see now in a lot of his movies, and Sucker Punch, Batman v Superman. You see it, so I would recommend that.
The images in this movie in particular look like paintings come to life. They are so fucking beautiful, and I definitely, not in the Whedon version, but in the Snyder cut of Justice League, the Themyscira scenes definitely reminded me of 300, the way it was shot, the cinematography, the whole thing, and the lighting. This right here, I mean, you got Gerard Butler. Let's call it for what it is. I mean, I'm sorry, don't get me wrong. Russell Crowe did a great job, but if you gave me this Gerard Butler as Jor-El, right?
He would have died. He would have saved the planet.
Hell yeah, he would have kicked Zod right off of Krypton. But
exactly.
But yeah, this is the story of the 300. This is the story of that army. It's history mixed in. It's stylized. It's over exaggerated. But holy fucking hell, the imagery in this movie, the work that went into it, the work that the fucking actors did to get in the shape they did. Oh my god, it was nuts. And I don't think any of them really matched later in their career. I know Gerard Butler didn't. It's to maintain the physiques they were able to get was probably impossible.
Oh yeah, it was probably just for the movie. And the thing is with that movie, I think I know you always talk about it. They usually do the upper body, not too much the legs. The legs were showing, so I mean they couldn't skip leg day.
No, this is one of the rare times. Yes, I point that out to you. If you notice, I'm gonna ruin people's lives right now. If you notice in a lot of superhero movies, especially the Marvel, even Henry Cavill as Superman, if you pay attention, the reveal is when you see these actors shirtless, right? Even Hugh Jackman, and you see them without their shirts on, you see they're jacked, they got the abs, they got the pecs, they got the arms. But what you don't rarely will see are their legs. They're always wearing pants. Because to get them into that shape, they have to hurry it up because they only have a certain amount of time. So in order to do that, they don't work the legs that much. And instead they focus just on the upper body. So it gets them super ripped for camera, but if they work the legs, they'll take long. So they cut that out. And that's why you have the costume designer put a little padding in there, fluff them out a little bit, and it looks like they have buff legs, but you won't catch them without the pants. That's all.
Exactly.
Steve Rogers, always has pants on. You never saw him without his pants. Hell, you never even saw him shirtless again after First Avenger.
Exactly. You really don't.
No. But anyway, moving on. But these guys, man, I don't know, whatever it was, steroids, I don't judge them. It worked. God bless them, because holy shit, this was probably a cast, I would say, of all the casts in a movie where if you just had a movie brawl and they showed up on a set like as them, I think they win automatically.
Automatically, yeah. They're done. Yeah, it's like, oh, yep, I don't have to work here anymore. I'm done. My job is done. You guys got it.
So why should people own this as a physical media, David?
It's Zack Snyder, like I said. We just talked about like is not out there. I just checked. I can't really find it online. I checked Netflix. I checked Hulu, Amazon Prime. I don't really see it. So it's like that's the thing. These movies have like I guess they're think of it as the same as when you would I would say think of it as the same as it's actually on Amazon. Everything's on Amazon. You just gotta buy it or rent it. You know how Amazon is. You can buy it, you own
Yeah,
it.
but you gotta buy it
Yeah,
though.
exactly. But my thing is, I mean, with all of these movies and stuff, it's like they're only technically there for a limited time. When you think about it, when you have I guess let's say for HBO, remember on HBO like Saturday nights, the feature premiere, they'll have it up there running for maybe a couple months, and then the movie's gone.
Yep. Just happened with Tom and Jerry.
So that's a
My son got so sad. He's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I'm sorry. I don't. They do this. You know. I don't know what to tell
oh
you."
yeah, it's not there anymore. But yeah, that's the only thing. It's like it's something about physical media is being able to have it, watch it, own it when you want, not on a reliable like that was the whole reason why you bought movies to begin with, so you can watch it when
Right.
you want. Great, you have it. Great, you can all these streaming networks. That's the thing. You have all these streaming platforms, but what if they? Let's say there's 10 streaming platforms, and right now in their current cycle of movies, they do not have what you want. Then what? You have all these choices, but you still can't watch what you want. So that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. I just did a quick search, and for those of you out there, you can get on Blu-ray for $8.99, brand new. And don't be afraid to buy used. I do it all the time, and they come.
Yeah.
I just did this. I bought the '80s movie Summer School for $4 on eBay, and it said good. The condition was good, not very good, not mint, good, and it came in perfect condition. So don't be afraid to buy used. You'll save money, and if it's only $8.99 used, and it's got a very sexy steelbook, by the way, and I own it, it's gorgeous. I love it. But yes, definitely they need it in their lives, David.
Exactly. They need it. And I would say, what is your recommendation, John?
Oh, well, ironically, this is a Zack Snyder film where the version I got, whether I wanted it or not, was the unrated director's cut, which is, this was the Army of the Dead essentially is a spiritual sequel to a movie he did back in 2004, and that is Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, the widescreen unrated director's cut, which I own on DVD, not Blu-ray, and I love the DVD. It's perfect. And this was, I think, one of the best remakes ever made, period. George Romero, back in 1968, made Night of the Living Dead. It kicked off the entire zombie craze. He then made Dawn of the Dead back in the 70s. And it was, of course, the famous thing where everybody hid in the mall. You had Ken Foree running around. This is the helicopter taking the zombie's head, the top of his head off, all that good stuff. You have the great Tom Savini's work in there. Classic, classic, classic. So very tough to remake something like that. That's so beloved. But Zack Snyder did it with Dawn of the Dead, and this was very sort of early for him. This is even before 300. This is before all that. This was one of his, like, I remember this is where I first saw his name, like, Zack Snyder. It stood out to me. This has Ving Rhames in it. It's got an amazing cast. It's got Mekhi Phifer. It's got so many very familiar faces, and it's a fun time capsule to go revisit for sure. And
And I think it was his first feature film too. At that,
and he nails it. He nails it. It's full out horror. Whereas Army of the Dead, like we said, kind of leans more towards action a lot. Here, this is a horror film. It's got scares. It's got amazing practical effects. It's got amazing makeup. It's got a nice little blend of humor, but not too much. Like I said, very good cast here. Nobody's off. Nobody's miscast. And it's just got so much going on for it. This is a director's cut. I saw it in the movies, but to be honest with you, I've only owned the director's cut. I can't remember what was so different from the theatrical, but it's very high rated for a reason. The DVD looks great, like I said. You could easily get it on Blu-ray. They have a multi-format Blu-ray on Amazon for $5. The DVD's $8. I got it very cheap. I ended up getting it actually at a video store. One of those times when you could get like 4 movies for $20.
ooh,
It was one of them. It didn't have a scratch on it. I was like, yeah. And the DVD is great because you actually have, one of the things I love is you get the commentary with Zack Snyder, which that alone is pretty great. You get the splitting headaches, the anatomy of exploding heads. You get Attack of the Living Dead, Raising the Dead, all these cool behind the scenes. Like these are little documentaries of the making of. And You also get deleted scenes with commentary by Zack Snyder. This is just on the DVD, by the way. It's all great. They had so much great stuff on here. And this is definitely fun to watch anytime. If you're a horror fan, you better own this. I don't know why you wouldn't. Like I said, a lot of remakes don't do the original justice. You may end up pissing you off, but this is one to where it's a very well done remake. Definitely worthy of the love. And I highly recommend it.
Thank you, Jonathan. I feel like I need to order this. Well, I'm gonna order this on Amazon. This happens all the time. It's like I see a movie. It's like, you know what? I need this in my collection. I need to have it.
Yes, but eventually you're going to get the DVD or the Blu-ray, right?
Oh yeah, one of the two. Probably Blu-ray because I have a Blu-ray player. I'm gonna keep getting Blu-rays until the next medium comes out, and I'm probably gonna end up rebuying them for that anyway.
What, 4K?
Listen, I might. I can't make no promises, but I might.
I'm with you. Like, I told myself at Blu-ray I'm done, but I don't know. I kind of like, this is how much of a fucking dork I am. I look at those black cases, I'm like, they're sexy. I like them.
Exactly. It's like, I'm gonna give me a couple.
Yep, and get you a couple too. And with that, this is the end of the episode 8 of the Video Store Bad Boys. Again, we were on a bit of a hiatus, but we are back.
Back, baby.
This is definitely gonna come in more frequency. We're gonna keep this going every week. We're gonna also put up some more content. We're gonna get the content up on social media. I know it's been a very slow start. For those of you that have come back, I know a couple of you have come up to me and approached me saying that you listen, and we thank you for that. You're only a couple, but we plan on getting more of you. Please, if you're listening, spread the word, tell your friends, follow us on social media. And if you live in the LA area, farfromkoi.com for all of your photography needs. This man does it all. He does headshots, he does finishing, he gives nothing but the best, and he even recently shot with baseball legend CC Sabathia. That is the level of clientele this man is getting now, and he is on fire.
Thank you. Yes.
Is there anything else you want to say or plug?
Moving up in the world, I would say, yeah, just like, subscribe, share with your friends, let them know. We're here to talk our shit. You're here to listen.
So, and with that, just one final thing, David, and we're out.
Sure, what's that, Jonathan?
You watched the entire Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, correct?
Yes.
Okay, did they ever say exactly what started the zombie apocalypse?
No, they did not.
Did they mention what killed the dinosaurs?
The ice.
The Video Store Bad Boys podcast is a double pop collar production. Be on the lookout for the Video Store Bad Boys on all of your favorite social media platforms. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe. The Video Store Bad Boys will return next week.
Bye.